All right, good morning, everyone. We'll get started here. This is meteorologist Andrew Kren with the National Weather Service in Raleigh for our routine weekly briefing here for Central North Carolina. This will cover the period from today, November 16th, through next Wednesday, November 22nd, going into Thanksgiving week. All right, so let's look at our upcoming weather pattern for the week. Key points, going to be quiet weather for much of the beginning part of the extended forecast, and then we'll look into something towards the beginning to middle part of next week. So generally high pressure is over the area, and that will slowly move off to the western Atlantic as we get into Saturday. Temperatures ahead of a cold front approaching Saturday will be relatively mild in the upper 60s and even some low to mid 70s into today, tomorrow, and the first half of Saturday. There is an offshore low that's approaching, as well as a cold front coming in Friday night. That low pressure system is going to remain to our east, and that cold front could bring some light rain to the area tomorrow, but most of us are going to be dry, only a few hundredths of an inch at best for that event tomorrow. So it's really not going to help with our drought conditions. We have some cooler temperatures expected for Sunday into Monday behind that cold front as it moves through Saturday, and Saturday could be a little gusty as well. But Sunday and Monday, outside of the cooler temperatures, is going to be dry. We do have a strong area of low pressure that is forecast to track into the Ohio Valley Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and that really brings our best chance for rainfall in the extended forecast. Could be a rain producer that could help with some of the drought conditions. Talking about the drought, here's the latest drought update. The main thing that has changed from last week is that extreme drought, which is D3, has emerged in North Carolina for the first time actually since March of 2017. And we do have severe drought has also expanded across the northern mountains of North Carolina, and across central North Carolina, we have severe drought has expanded into portions of the southern and western Piedmont, including the western part of Forsyth County. And then we have basically moderate drought over most of central North Carolina, but maybe some abnormally dry conditions as you get closer to the coastal plain. So we really haven't received much in the way of rain the last several weeks, and that's obviously continuing to deteriorate things on the drought front. What's next is that we do have that system I talked about early next week. Rainfall amounts across the state could range from 1/2 an inch to maybe 2 inches toward the mountains. So this would be beneficial, but we're still far out, so we don't want to speak too much, but it does look more promising than what we've seen the last several weeks. So going into that, here's our accumulated precipitation forecast through the next 5 days. So we're relatively dry today. On Friday, there is, a couple hundredths of an inch possible. More amounts as you get probably closer to the mountains and then closer to the coast. But kind of where central North Carolina is, we're kind of in between both of those systems, the cold front coming in and then the low pressure to our east. So we're really not going to get much out of that. Saturday we're dry, Sunday's dry under high pressure. And as we get into Monday and especially on Tuesday, that's when we have that approaching system that'll bring us the best chance for rain. A 5-day total, which is only going through Monday, is looking anywhere from 1/2 an inch to an inch across the western part of the state, and across central North Carolina, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 an inch. Then I extended out, so this is looking at the next 7 days. So this would cover the whole period for that potential system next week, Monday night into Wednesday. And you can see that the Weather Prediction Center accumulated rainfall, where we all basically need the rain, but where the highest amounts are currently projected is where we really need it the most, and that's across the western part of the state and closer to like the mountains, where this current rainfall graphic is projecting anywhere from an inch and a quarter to up to 2 inches in the North Carolina mountains, and that would be well received. But even across central North Carolina, several places could see an inch. So hopefully this will continue with the latest guidance that we look at later today and over the next several days, but this looks promising so far. Severe thunderstorm potential, we aren't expecting anything severe. Some showers are possible tomorrow, but nothing organized in terms of any severe thunderstorm threat at this point. There is some potential that the system next week on Tuesday, that there could be some thunderstorms over the area, but right now we don't see a really strong signal for it yet. We will certainly keep an eye on it, but right now we don't see anything too drastic to worry about at this point. We have no excessive rainfall threat, obviously tomorrow and Saturday with limited rain chances. The tropics starting to get a little bit more active. Keep in mind, we still have the season that goes into the end of November. There is an area of low pressure that's near southern Florida, and there's an area of low pressure over the West Central Caribbean Sea. Both of these are not expected to impact central North Carolina. The one over Florida isn't expected to become tropical, and then the one over the Caribbean Sea could become a tropical depression, but it's going to remain well to our east, and we don't see any impacts from either one of these. Although, strictly speaking, we could almost see some tropical impacts, which actually would be beneficial for our rainfall. We just would maybe want to subtract out any potential wind threat, but we are not seeing any potential there. Going into the 8 to 14 day period, basically looking at a 50 to 60% chance of below normal temperatures across the Carolinas. So likely favoring into a cooler trend as we get into the latter part of December, or latter part of November, going into the first part of December. Hard to believe it's almost December in a couple weeks. And then roughly near normal precipitation is favored during this period. Here's our experimental graphical hazardous weather outlook. So we have some frost and freeze conditions again Saturday night and on Sunday night, but we have ended our frost freeze has ended for the season with the growing season ending. That's the main impact in the short term over this period. And then we do have some potential for some thunderstorms on Tuesday, and that's where you see the limited chance for lightning on Tuesday. But outside of those two things, nothing hazardous in the extended period beyond those two. So our weather summary, we're going to be dry and mild with highs ranging from the upper 60s to low to mid 70s through Saturday. We do have an approaching front that will bring some rain Friday night. Most of the day is going to be dry though. You have cooler temperatures returning Sunday into Monday behind a dry, cold front that will move through Saturday afternoon and produce some gusty winds on Saturday. High temperatures will be in the 50s and low to mid 60s Sunday and Monday. We do have a strong area of low pressure that's forecast to track into the Ohio Valley for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and that's really going to bring our best chance for rain in the extended. Our hazards and impacts, no real threats at this point. We did want to point out the extreme drought D3 has emerged in the western part of the state, and the severe drought has expanded. What we're hoping is that the trends will continue, that we see a better rain chance, which we haven't seen for quite some time, hopefully coming with that system next week, Monday night into Wednesday period.